Hey golf people, on today's episode we're taking a look at the Coolshot 50i versus the new Coolshot Pro II stabilized from Nikon. Both of these rangefinders do amazing things. Both are very similar and both have some differences that you should be aware of as well. We're gonna break it all down for you on today's video. Hope you enjoy. Now, I strive to give honest, unbiased reviews on this channel. And that's the reason that I work with PlayBettercom, who helps me get my hands on this gear. I don't have to go directly to the manufacturer if I can avoid it. They send it to me and I can say whatever I like about what I'm holding in my hands. So in addition to the great prices, the 30-day hassle-free return policy, and the fact that they're great golf people, it's another reason to shop at playbetter.com. Now, probably the biggest benefit to the new Coolshot 50i is this little magnet right here. If you are playing in a cart like I am today, because it's so hot out here, you can literally just stick it there right on the cart and it makes a really nice firm contact. I've been up and down hills all over and that thing is nice and solid, and yet it's pretty easy to take off as well. Now, it only has the magnet right here on the right side, not on the left, so that's not actually gonna stick, but you've gotta stick it on the right and you've got a nice firm seal there. Now, the major benefit that you'll see from the Coolshot Pro II stabilized is that stabilization. So what's really nice is Nikon has used its optics that it's used in its cameras for many, many years, put it into a rangefinder. And now as I'm looking through, there's no jitter, there's no shake. So if you don't have the steadiest of hands, if you're not the steadiest gun in the West, you will actually love this thing. And I think, especially for you seniors out there or for people who are anything but surgeons, you're gonna enjoy looking through this thing and not having a wobble. The other thing I'd say about the Coolshot Pro II stabilized is it's extremely fast. It's 0.3 seconds, which in reality feels like the blink of an eye. You can't even tell the difference from when you hit that button to when you get the reading on this device. Instantaneous. Now, with the Coolshot Pro II stabilized, you're also going to get an audible feedback. Both of these have haptic feedback where you'll get a vibration when you lock on to something. But with the Coolshot Pro II stabilized, you'll actually hear a little beep as well. All right, now the great thing about these rangefinders is that they are rated, both of them, for 1,200 yards. Now, of course, that's a whole heck of a lot more than we'll need it as golfers, but if you do some hunting, maybe you do some people watching on the beach, whatever the case may be, I'm not judging. These things will work up to 1,200 yards. Now, behind me is a giant par 5. This is about 523 from where I'm standing is what the marker says to the middle of the green. Let's see how far it is to the pin. First up, I'm gonna use the Coolshot 50i. 531.6, all right? There's a nice red display inside of here. I will show you that here in just a minute so you can kind of see what it looks like in between them. But this one is silent. You just sort of wait a couple seconds and up pops the number. Now, with the Coolshot Pro Stabilized 2, it is almost instantaneous. It's scary how quick this is, and this is why I like this one a lot. And 531.5 with the Coolshot Pro II Stabilized. Again, with this one, you get a little audible ding that you've hit it. And it happens in less than 1/3 of a second, which is absolutely insane. And the image is nice and smooth, which makes you feel much more confident when you hit that target. So it looked like both of them were pretty much spot on, which is pretty incredible as well. I've always enjoyed the accuracy of Nikon. I've used a Nikon personally as my rangefinder for many, many years. And in fact, we've used it as the benchmark that all the rangefinders I test on this show are measured against. So I've always liked it. It's a camera company, right? You know Nikon cameras, and you know the optics inside of these things are camera quality. There are 2 modes in the 50i. You're going to have regular pin lock mode, and then you're also going to have slope correction built into this device. So if you're playing a hilly course, you'll be able to know how much you have to club up or club down depending on where the pin is. So the 4 modes built into this are your regular rangefinder mode where you're sighting something. Then you've got slope adjusted mode. Then you've got height mode and width mode. Now, height mode and width mode I generally don't necessarily use, but just thinking about it, it could be interesting if you're trying to see how wide of a fairway you've got. You can measure the distance between the width of 2 things, which could actually be something. Form factor is great. It actually sits really nice there in my thumb. I don't know if you can see that. but it just has great balance. Both of these devices have wonderful ergonomics as well as build quality, and you can generally tell the quality of a rangefinder by how heavy and robust it feels, and just the quality of the materials is very obvious. I've tested lots of rangefinders over the years. The ones that are plasticky and light generally don't last. These Nikons, from my experience, at least the Nikon that I've owned for 5 or 6 years, holds up to the test and everything that I put it through, and I'm not easy on these devices either. 103.4 with the Coolshot, adjusted by slope it's 101, and 100.5 yards up 3 for the slope, so very, very close. Right. Now this is the mode that I mostly use, which is slope mode, and as you can see, once we get a lock on, you've got confirmation down there, and you can see that you're adjusting for slope minus 3 yards. Now if we're looking through the Coolshot 50i, it's a little bit different. When you lock on, you get a nice little vibration. You've got your slope on top there, and you've got your actual distance there down below. Now, as you can see, I can kind of scan, and it will be buzzing at me as I hit different objects on the course, and those numbers will be updating. Now when you look through the viewfinders, both of these are absolutely crystal clear, but that's me actually sticking this thing up to the camera lens so it looks a little bit blurry, but you've got a nice red display here, and you've got a more colorful display with that nice green little circle when you know you've locked onto the flag. Both of these devices have that little buzz, and this one has that audible signal so you know you've locked on. Now in terms of price point, the Coolshot 50i is going to be sitting right kind of in the middle of the market of golf rangefinders. And who would be the person that wants this? Somebody who wants something that is really good quality, has great optics, is willing to pay a little bit more than that budget range, and who's going to want their rangefinder to last a little bit longer in exchange for that price. Now, who is the Coolshot Pro II stabilized marketed for? I would say this is a great rangefinder for someone who might have a little bit of trouble with having shaky hands or not so steady hands, someone who also values having the top of the line, having something that's going to give you instantaneous feedback, and something that's going to be a little bit more robust. Now, it wouldn't be a proper review without a couple of gripes. So my gripe with this Coolshot Pro II stabilized is probably this white area, maybe a little plasticky feeling. I actually like the finish better on the 50i. It's got that metallic-y feel to it, and it's just not, it's more of a matte, whereas this is more of a gloss, and it's really picky, obviously, but I like the matte finish, and I feel like it gives it a more high-end look, if you will, and I really do love having that magnet there. That's a huge bonus. Now, the thing I don't like, the big gripe I would say with the Coolshot 50i is this case. This is a magnetic clip to it, but it's like a fabric case, like a soft case. I really like these types of cases, these hard cases where you can literally just throw the device in there, you slide it in, and then you just use this string to seal it. It's just quicker in and out. Now, I suppose this, more often than not, is probably going to be up here, so maybe it doesn't matter as much, but I would have liked a hard case. I found both of these rangefinders to be extremely accurate, both generally within 1/10 of a yard of each other. So the only differences that I did see is on the slope adjustment of the 50i sometimes was different than the slope adjustment with the Coolshot Pro II stabilized. But apart from that, they were only ever off a yard or so, so I can't really say that it was a big deal one way or the other, honestly. Both have wonderful form factor. I love the magnetism of the Coolshot 50i. It's probably the one I'd put in my bag personally. But again, if you've got the need for something that's stabilized, you don't want to see that jitter in there, and you want that immediate instant feedback with the audible sound to go along with it, the Pro II stabilized is a fantastic one. It's going to cost you a little bit more money, but you'll enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, please do hit the like button down below, and I'll catch you very soon on another edition of Let's Play Through.